Good? Yeah?
Yeah.
Sweet. Hi skiers, I'm Jeff from Skiessentials.com.
And I'm Allie.
Allie and I are here today to do our second women's ski comparison. This one is hovering right around 100 millimeters. We don't really need that protective thing. This is actually, there's quite a bit of variety in this one. It's really interesting. I was looking at all the specs and stuff as I was writing it. The Ranger, I think, is actually 94 underfoot. And then we go, and like the Core 99 is actually 95 underfoot. And then we go all the way up to like the Ripstick 102 and the Sheeva, they are 102 underfoot. So there's quite a big range in widths here. I also thought it was interesting looking at our ski test results. Some of these skis we put into freeride and some of them we put into all mountain. So there's quite a bit of variety on this wall, which I think is going to make this really fun. Some of them feel a little bit more like versatile all mountain skis. Some of them are starting to feel more like soft snow specific skis. Really good grouping of skis, and we'll just kick it off with one that I think is really fun to start with. This is the Secret 102 from Volkl. The reason why I think it's fun to start with is because I think it sets like an interesting tone to start this comparison. This is probably the stiffest, heaviest, burliest, maybe not stiffest, but the most kind of focused on charging performance. You know, if you're the type of skier that really likes to drive a carving turn, ski fast and aggressively, this is really a really good choice. To summarize, we've talked about this a lot. This is Volkl's new Titanal frame construction. We saw it last year in the Secret 92. Now we get a Kenja 88 that we talked about last week, and we get the Secret 102. But a lot of metal in this ski. There's a full sheet of metal along the base, and then you get that Titanal frame along the top sheet. Pretty big turning radius in these skis too. They do have the 3D radius, so I always enjoy reading these. It is 19, 14, 17 is the range in radii. This is a shorter length too, so if you bumped up into the longer lengths, you're going to get longer turn radii, but just a hard charging ski.
Yeah, it's definitely not a ski to put every lady out there on.
No.
It's specifically for a stronger lady who's looking for that larger turn, that big fall line. It definitely would hit the crud in like a little bit of powder, but it's definitely meant more as a hard charging, wide all mountain ski.
Yeah. It's definitely it's wide enough to handle soft snow for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just about everything up here is wide enough to handle soft snow. What I'd say about this is, sure, it's versatile, but it still prefers carving. If you take it into softer snow conditions, it's the type of ski that really likes open bowls, stuff like that, where you can make big arcing turns. It's not going to be the easiest in tight trees like here in Stowe. Some people will be able to do that, but it's going to require pretty high.
It's not very forgiving. It's definitely responsive. As I said, not everyone's going to love this ski.
Yep.
But for those of you that do like that metal,
Yep.
dampening ski, this is for you.
Yeah, maybe you've got a race background and you love just ripping, but you want something a little wider. It's a great choice.
All right, our next ski is the Salomon Lumen 99. This is probably our most versatile ski on the wall.
It's very well rounded. Yeah.
It's very well rounded. It's super light. It's also got a great shape to it. It's got a lot of early tip rise and tail. So it's going to be easy to release that turn. But it actually has a surprisingly amazing edge hold. They extended the edge. Effective edge on this year's version. Also, they've changed that they put some cork in the tip and the tail, which helps with dampening in those turns, especially if you're getting in a little bit more cruddy snow. But this is probably the most versatile ski up here, as we said. A wide range of ladies would enjoy this. Even that hard-charging girl could get on this and have fun. But it is more forgiving on the legs and probably easier to maneuver in all of those conditions.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, you get a lot of versatility out of a lot of these skis. But yeah, just it just feels very well-rounded, and that's something that we've said about the QSTs in general.
You can see that little tail.
Yeah, it's like their playfulness and maneuverability and ability in soft snow kind of matches their groomer performance. Mm-hmm. Where like a ski like the Secret 102, it's kind of carving groomer performance is, kind of skewed to its soft snow smeary performance. And this just feels really well rounded. We talked about the Salomon shift binding a lot. This is a really good candidate for a shift binding.
Super lightweight.
Something to mention about the shift binding that we've been talking about recently is those DIN Rangers do start at 6. So it's kind of tough for some ladies out there.
And I believe we found out that the smallest boot size, I'm not going to recall off the top of my head, but be careful if you're looking for a shift binding. If you have a small foot and a low DIN level, the shift might not be the correct binding for you this year.
But if you think about the versatility of that binding, it really matches the versatility of this ski. And definitely way smoother for 2020 than they've ever been before. They took out some of the twitchy feeling. It wasn't super twitchy before, but it got deflected a little easier than this new version. So just a really well-rounded ski for somebody who skis the whole mountain and, skis pretty aggressively probably, but not like charging down the fall line like a ski like the Secret. I really like the way that this starts with these 3 skis. The Secret's super hard charging, then we're going a little bit more forgiving, a little bit easier with the QST. This is exceptionally forgiving and exceptionally easy to ski. This is the Rossignol Sky 7 HD, one of the lightest skis on this wall, and it's also got quite a lot of tip rocker too. There's significant tail rocker too, but it's much longer in the tip. Because it's that light and because it has that shape, it's like ultra quick. Really, really good tree ski for here in Stowe. If you're skiing at more moderate speeds, but you need to make a lot of quick movements, that's pretty much the ideal scenario for this ski. The other side of the coin with that is if you take it on a firm groomer and you're trying to ski fast and hard, it's not going to have the edge grip of even a ski like the QST 99. Definitely not a ski like the Secret 102. So keep that in mind if you're like a really aggressive skier and you love like driving a carving turn. This might not be the ski for you.
Yeah, it's definitely lightweight and not going to respond as much when it's driven that fast. It definitely wants a slower speed skier, someone who likes to push out their tails to slow themselves down maybe in the woods. This is a great ski, and that shovel nose really does work well in that powder. Even with this not narrow, but narrow compared to some of our 100 width skis up here, it still would do excellent in powder.
Yeah, and it's if you are a more moderately aggressive skier, if you're not charging, it can work on groomers. There's actually a fairly high camber profile to this ski. So if you're lightweight or not very aggressive, you might find that it does everything you need it to do on groomers. But I would say the highlight of that ski is just how quick and easy it is to just wiggle through trees. It's a really good wiggle ski.
Wiggle. All right, the next one we've got is the Santa Ana 100. This is their typical construction. They have 2 sheets of very thin metal in them, along with their wood core. It's definitely a pretty stiff ski compared to some of the skis up here. It's probably ranked 3 stiffness wise.
Yeah, sure.
If I was just going to quantify it. Sure. This ski has an amazing shape. It's, free ride derived towards the top, but it doesn't have too much tail rise. So it definitely is got an effective edge that you can still take it out on those groomers and really hard charge on it. I'd say it's a little bit more forgiving than the Secret. Even with its 2 sheets of metal, it acts like a metal ski, but because they're so lightweight and because of this nice shape, it is a little bit easier to maneuver and ski than the Secret.
Yeah, the shaping concept, I think I give a lot of credit to the Enforcer Santa Ana shape when you look at it compared to a ski like the Secrets or like the M5 Mantras or anything like that. And you're right, like it's definitely not the softest, but it's got a little bit more of a natural flex pattern than the Secret. So it's nice because it's got that, like you're saying, it's got that upper level range of performance. It's got plenty of power, plenty of vibration damping, plenty of stability. But a little bit easier if you get into softer snow conditions and want to make those pivoting smearing turns. I think it'll be really interesting to see if we get a Santa Ana 104 for next year.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I definitely would not recommend this to everyone. Again, it falls along the lines of the Secret. It definitely takes a powerful skier, and it definitely is someone that it has the strength to drive a metal ski.
Yeah, and you talked about the weight. And I think it's important to note that it's light, but it's light for a ski with metal.
Yes.
If you held it, like if we did that, it's like in a totally different league But among skis with metal, Nordica does a pretty good job keeping their weight down a little bit. Next ski is the Liberty Genesis 96. This is maybe most notably arguably the only twin tip up here. I think when we were looking at it yesterday, like I think you could argue that the Sheeva 10 is in there too in a twin tip, but this really feels like a twin tip, especially being a Liberty. And I think, just if you have knowledge of Liberty as a brand, you can apply it to this ski. They're known for bamboo in their construction. They've pretty much been using bamboo for the entire existence of the company. Bamboo makes the ski very light, very snappy, very energetic. They also put carbon stringers into this ski that just takes that energetic, light, snappy feel to another level. It's kind of, I'd put this in a similar range as the Sky 7. Not quite the same, but it's very quick. It's very easy in terrain like trees. I think we have some footage of Christy Brown skiing this through Tomba's shoot, and she's just like lightning quick, edge to edge, and getting the ski to pivot. So I think it's really, really good at that. It actually, I will guarantee that its groomer performance will surprise you.
Yeah, I mean, Liberty, if you've never tried a Liberty, get on them. It's probably one of the most surprising brands out there. As we said, it's light. The bamboo in there really keeps that weight down. But those carbon stringers, they provide that stability and that torsional stiffness.
Yeah.
But when you get on a groomer, I've never had a problem carving a great turn on these.
Yeah.
And as he said, they're so lightweight that they're energetic and fun.
Yeah.
Get in tight trees, you're able to pop in and out and really maneuver them.
Yeah, like when I tested the Origin 96, the men's version of this ski, it did like everything I expected it to, like tricks and stuff and like little butters but then when I was on a groomer, I was like, oh, this thing can actually carve.
Yeah, and ladies that want to ski backwards every once in a while, this might be your ski.
Yeah, and I think that's important to note. If you're an all-mountain skier, but you have kind of a playful mentality or maybe a freestyle background or a terrain park background, or you're just interested in that kind of stuff. Maybe you watched like the X Games last year and you're like, that looks cool, but I don't know if I can do that. This ski is still going to perform well around the mountain, and then it gives you that ability to jump in the terrain park, play around, ski backwards, do all that silly stuff.
All right, we have the K2 Mindbender 98. This is the widest width metal ski in the Mindbender women's line.
Yeah.
It incorporates that Y beam technology in there. So it creates the metal is along the edges up here. You can kind of see it in here. And then it goes through the tail in the center. And that is in order to create torsional stiffness in specific areas through the ski to increase its skiability. So through the tail, it's through the center, which helps you finish your turns. But it also allows you to release your turns if you want to.
Yeah.
And then in the top, it definitely helps you stay on edge and increases that effective edge for carving.
Yeah.
As well, this shovel nose that we see in most of the Mindbenders does help with that flotation if you do hit a little bit of crud and powder.
Yeah. I think it's a really cool ski. I consider the Mindbender 98 Ti pretty similar to the Santa Ana 100.
It's pretty stiff.
We were talking about this yesterday. Yeah, there's decent amount of metal in there. It's pretty stiff. It's pretty powerful. It's not like super lightweight. Let's just say it's not super lightweight, but it's not crazy heavy. And what
lighter
I like
than the Secret, but about the same as the Nordica.
I bet all the three of those skis are really in a pretty
similar.
similar range. There's maybe like a couple hundred grams difference between the three of them. But what I like about this ski is it has like a unique combination of being powerful and stable, but also kind of playful too. It's got like this counterculture attitude. So it's like if you want that like powerful metal feel, but in a ski that's not a Volkl or not a Nordica Santa Ana, like it does have a different feel.
And that's probably the shape, would you say?
The shape and that where they're placing the metal. Like it really does. It allows you to release your tail edge pretty easily, but it's not like... An intermediate might not find it easy. It's easy if you're in that upper range in aggressiveness and ability, which I think it's positioning itself as an interesting ski in this group. Like there aren't that many that can claim that they're combining power and playfulness, and I think this ski does it really well.
And we'll get to another ski. The Sheeva might kind of compare
Yeah,
to that
totally.
playful but also powerful ski.
Yeah, and if you look at the construction, there are some similarities in the
Mhm.
construction. In fact, when these skis first came out, our initial reaction was, hey, look, it's like a Secret in the front and a Sheeva in the back, which is dumbing it down too much. Like there's way more to these skis and how they're built and designed than just that, but there is some truth to that too. And yeah, like I was saying, this is the widest with metal. So like a lot of ladies, and we thought about including the Mindbender 106C in this comparison. It just felt a little wide, being 106, and then the next widest was 102. But if you have more of a playful attitude, that 106C is going to have more float, more playfulness.
And it won't have that metal.
Not the
It's
metal,
carbon.
much lighter. Really cool ski, and I'm hoping we can do a wider comparison in a few weeks and talk about that ski. This is the Core 99 for women. First year that women get the cores, like we talked about last week with the 93. Like we mentioned at the beginning of this video, the name could throw off your knowledge of this ski a little bit. It is 95 underfoot. So it's actually like one of the best carvers up here because it's got that narrower width. It's pretty quick edge to edge. And we've talked about it before. These things are darn stiff and very torsionally stiff too. No metal in these skis. It's that graphene, carbon, choroid. Really unique combination of materials in this ski, but the result is fairly similar to metal. A little lighter, a little bit more responsive, but definitely as stiff as any metal ski up here. And yeah, I think they carve a turn really, really well. You do get some versatility out of this shape. Similar shape as we saw in a ski like the Santa Ana, where it's very smooth through the tip. It's not drastic taper like a Sky 7, for example. But gives you some versatility in the shape of the ski. You know, if you get into soft snow, you can kind of pivot and smear it a little bit, but it is stiff, so sometimes that's challenging to do.
And we discussed this in our last video, but again, we'll reiterate it. The core is definitely, it's a lightweight ski, but that stiffness is not meant for a beginner. It's definitely not forgiving. Definitely, people we've noticed more classically trained or with like older technique in skiing really like this ski, but the lightweightness kind of tricks you into thinking that it's going to be this easy ski and forgiving, but it's this is a very stiff carving ski that can handle crud every once in a while. And
that's especially true about the 99. On the men's side and the women's side, the 99 sets itself apart from those other core skis as it almost doesn't make sense, or how it's impressive that they were able to achieve that performance
with no metal.
Yeah, because those of us that were introduced to the 93 and the 105 and kind of got that feel and were used to that feel on the men's side, and then they got the 99 and it's like, whoa, it's really stiff and really powerful. So something to keep in mind. But yeah, great carving ski. Really
great
responsive.
Carving ski if you want a little more less weight under your legs, but you still have that power and strength to handle an expert ski or advanced ski. This is the ski for you.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
All right, our next ski in the lineup is the Fischer Ranger 96, which is actually 94 under the foot. So it is the narrowest ski that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
But don't let that fool you. This is a ski meant for the whole mountain.
Yeah, definitely.
It's lightweight, but it has a great effective edge. It can carve an excellent turn out there.
Yeah, some metal in there. And they extended the metal for this year too, which is it definitely added some stability.
Yeah, and just to note, like on the tail, they have these clips for your skins, which just tells you that this ski is very versatile. It can go uphill. Put a shift binding on, as we said, and go uphill, go downhill, go in the woods. It's got good tail release for those tight trees.
Yeah.
Again, it's a little narrow to be your one powder ski, but in the East Coast, this might be your one ski quiver.
Yeah, definitely.
We don't get 5 foot storms here.
Almost never.
Almost never. Please this year, we'd love that. But this ski I think is definitely one that fits a large category of women out there.
Yeah.
Even someone that just wants to stay mainly on front side would have a lot of fun on this, carving it up on those groomers, but they would have no problems taking off trail.
Yeah, no, it's a really, we've talked about well-rounded skis before, and I think this is another one that's very well-rounded. Extending the metal increased the carving performance too, and the fact that they're pretty narrow. They're quick edge to edge, so you're going to be able to carve a turn really well. There's not like a tremendous amount of tail rocker, so you can, if you want to, and you're on a groomer, you can get the ski to stay in that carving turn and just link kind of railroad track turns, as I would call it. But the shape of the ski, their carbon nose, I mean, Fischer definitely knows what they're doing.
And you can just see how thin this nose piece is, and it's probably one of the thinner ones up here,
definitely,
which takes away a lot of that weight, but they still extended the metal, so it's still got that responsiveness up there, but it definitely takes out some of that weight by taking it out of the thickness.
But yeah, this is a great one, and when we started this video and I said some of these skis feel more like soft snow skis and some of them feel like versatile all-mountain skis, this is definitely one that feels like a versatile all-mountain ski. Next up, we got the Elan Ripstick 102, and that's a good transition because to me this is one that's really starting to feel like almost a soft snow specific ski. I think a Western skier could choose this as an all-mountain ski. I think it would be a bit wide for an Eastern skier unless you're like constantly seeking out soft snow, but sometimes that doesn't even exist. So a little wide maybe for an East Coast daily driver, but it's really starting to feel like a good soft snow ski, even a good powder ski. It's a really big shovel on this ski. It's like 143.
Yeah.
I might be wrong about that, and they don't list it on here, but it's 140 something. So that's going to give you a ton of float. This ski's nice and light too. We've talked about Elan's construction quite a bit now. They use pretty lightweight wood and then carbon tubes running through them. Those carbon tubes, they provide energy, they provide responsiveness, all the stuff that we expect from carbon, but being a three-dimensional form, it's actually giving you better vibration damping. So the ski reacts to inputs in all different directions instead of just vertically, as a sheet of carbon would do. So it makes the ski really, really fun. It gives it a smooth yet playful feel. Mm-hmm. It's stable, but it also feels quick and agile. It's certainly not the stiffest ski up here, but it's got enough there that if you want to ski pretty fast and pretty aggressively, you can. But I say that it's starting. This is the first one that really feels like a soft snow, almost powder ski. Even though the Secret's just as wide, this ski has a much different personality in soft snow. Much easier, much more focused on being playful.
It's got a little bit more float as well, as he said, in that deep snow. It's got a little bit more tail rise there to allow you to release those tails. And, Jeff says in his article, Elan is really focused on being a fun, playful ski company, and they've done it in their skis. They do it in their graphics. They're a little bit more bold and fun in their colors, and they also do it in their technology and in their design. Yep. Just about anyone can get on this ski and have fun out there.
Yeah, I love the sidewall colors.
Yeah.
They're sweet.
Bright and fun.
The Fischer too. Those two skis, they both have highlighter color sidewalls, which I'm a big fan of bright colors on skis.
Mm-hmm. I agree. The next ski is the Yvette. I'm hoping I'm saying that right, by DPS.
Hard to know.
It's their Alchemist 100 that we have here, using their Alchemist construction, which Jeff will tell you a little bit more shortly about that construction. But this ski, we like to compare it to the Sky 7. It's got a very similar shape to it.
Yep.
It's a forgiving ski. It's lightweight with that construction. But it also, you're talking about a different price break here. The Sky 7's a little bit more reasonable, and you could put anybody on that. You could put anybody on this ski, but the price break might change the clientele. But it definitely can carve and handle the groomers. It's, what is it underfoot? Is it actually 100?
I would guess yes.
Okay, so it is, it still can have a little float in the powder, but because the carbon that they use in the construction, it can hold an edge perfectly.
Yeah, like you said, we like to compare it to the Sky because it has kind of all those benefits of that shape. It's quick, it's agile, it's another wiggle ski if that's kind of the way that you like to ski, is wiggling through trees. But yeah, when I tested the Whaler 100, the men's version of this ski, same kind of thing as the Liberty. When I talked about that, is it did everything I expected it to. Mm-hmm. It did all that quickness and stuff that I expect from this shape, but I was really impressed by the way it carves.
Yeah.
And to me, that's how you justify the $1,200 price.
Yeah.
It's like you're getting that high level quickness and maneuverability, soft snow performance, all that stuff. But then you can get back on a groomer and like it still feels pretty darn good. Like you would not expect it out of this shape, but you have to give them credit, and that construction it's really quite impressive.
And I feel like DPS, originally was, their deep powder. In the recent years, they've kind of started helping the East Coasters get on their skis, because this is more of an East Coast ski. It obviously will be great out west, but East Coast, we're looking for that narrow ski that can do it all, from all mountain to carving to when we get our 3 inches of powder. We want to have one ski on the bottom of our foot that can go from all of those places, and DPS has finally come up with a ski for us.
Yeah, this feels like a really good all mountain ski for a Stowe skier.
Yeah.
Next up is the Blizzard Sheeva 10. This is another one, like I said about the Ripstick 102, this to me feels like a soft snow ski. A little different. I also like comparing this ski to the Santa Ana. I don't know why I'm putting it there, but I'm going to. So in a ski like the Santa Ana, you get full length metal. It's pretty thin metal, but it gives it a consistent feel from tip to tail. I often describe this ski as having kind of 2 different personalities. So it's got quite a bit of metal underfoot. So that portion of the ski is full width metal underfoot that's thicker than the metal in the Santa Ana. So you actually get really good edge grip in this portion of the ski. Good stability, good power. But then the tips and tails are so much more rockered than we see in a lot of these skis on this wall. And the metal ends, it starts tapering there and ends there. And the tip, it starts tapering there and ends there. So the tips are much lighter, much softer flexing. They have less torsional stiffness too. So it's designed to be able to carve a turn thanks to that mid body of the ski. But then if you get in soft snow, this is kind of a ski where if you change your skiing style, it'll act accordingly. So you can drive turns on it on firm snow, and then if you ski with a more balanced stance in soft snow, you're going to get that pivot smearing ability. And it feels a little more stable this year than ever before. They increased the weight. Definitely on the Rustler side, and I believe they did the same on the women's side as well. But I really like the mix of characteristics in this ski, and I think it's a cool one if you think about that kind of 2 different personalities in one ski.
We talk about that one quiver a lot, and obviously there's a lot of options for that one quiver, but this is another excellent option.
Yeah, especially for a Western skier.
Yeah, someone looking to get on the trails just a couple days a week, but then also, getting out in the woods or the powder. Yep. The ski is going to take you all there. It's definitely not meant for an intermediate beginner skier. It's definitely a more advanced ski. It's definitely powerful and strong, but it's fun.
It's super fun.
Get in the woods with that tail, and you're going to have no problem getting around the trees.
Yeah. No, it's it's another very well-rounded ski.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next, we have the Atomic Vantage 97C.
This actually is the men's graphic. We didn't have the women's graphic available for this video. It's the same ski for men's and women's, and I thought it was a good one to include, so I brought it in here.
And so they do a version with titanium in there. This one is the carbon version, so it is a little bit lighter. Its performance is not gonna be as carving driven, but
its shape is still pretty focused on that.
Its shape is definitely focused in it, and they definitely take out some weight in the ski through this. People have asked if it makes the material in the back any lighter. It does not. The base is the same thickness. Yep. But you can kind of see right through that, and it improves the weight of this ski.
It's like 1,600 grams, which we haven't thrown out any numbers yet, but 1,600 grams is really light.
Yeah. But the shape of this ski really lends to being a groomer ski. We talked about that traditional skier on that head core. This is a very similar skier that has been classically trained and might ski with a little tighter leg, knees together a little bit more.
Sure. Yeah, I think one of the most important things to note about this ski is that it doesn't have a ton of rocker. It is there, but it's really gradual rise, so it retains long effective edge. And we were talking about it yesterday. You can maneuver this ski really well, but you should be the type of skier that's comfortable unweighting the back of your ski or the tail of the ski to get it to they call them
Turn.
dolphin turns sometimes. I don't know if anybody uses that term anymore. But it's like keeping your nose pressed on the snow and kind of like hopping and getting the tails to turn around. A lot of people, and I can think of like a ton of people that ski like that at Stowe, because this mountain has like a long history of
Classically trained skiers.
thanks to Allie's family. But there's a ton of skiers at Stowe that would really like this ski because they ski with that style. If you're more of you're not like consistently unweighting each turn and you're looking for that just like push out your tail edge and smear, it's not going to do that quite as well.
What's the radius?
That's a great question, Allie.
I would assume that the radius on this, based on what we're saying, is that it's going to be a large turn radius.
Yeah,
and it's
17-meter turn radius.
Yep, there you go. It's going to want to take large GS turns.
Yep, but it's also very responsive, very agile. Like just being this light, it's fun to ski. You just have to kind of remember that shape. It's not going to be the push smear turn. It's an unweight turn if you're trying to get it to be quick and agile. But super fun and like not a tiring ski on groomers too, which I think is nice about it.
And last but not least,
yeah, the Armada Tracer 98. Great ski. I think it's a fun one to end with. I think it's definitely got a soft snow vibe to it. Pretty similar to last year's versions of this skis, but they smoothed out the performance a little bit. Better vibration damping than ever before. That was the first thing that I noticed when I skied the new Tracer 108. But another really good candidate for a shift binding.
they've got an Armada shift in all black and all black on this, or even the Salomon, which has the hints of white, would look really sexy on this ski.
That black shift binding would look sweet. But yeah, light enough for touring, enough stability for the descent. It can even be like your resort ski and your touring ski, which, that's kind of the point of the shift binding. But it carves a turn pretty well too. They use what they call adaptive mesh in this ski. It's a variable angle weave, so they're kind of doing similar things as K2, like tailoring the amount of torsional stiffness in the ski. But it'll hold an edge pretty darn well. You can actually see that variable weave right there. So it's super tight up here, and then it lengthens, so there's more torsional stiffness up here, less down here, so you can release that tail edge in soft snow. Just another very well-rounded ski.
Might not be the one quiver ski for your East Coasters out there,
depending on skiing style.
But out west, it definitely likes a little bit more softer conditions. But it's not one to overlook.
Definitely not. So yeah, that's it. 13 skis, right around 100 millimeters underfoot. Like I said, I'm hoping we can do a wider one. We're getting pretty close to ski season now, and then it makes it a little bit more challenging to do these longer comparisons, but we're definitely going to do more. Hopefully on the men's side, you'll see 2 or 3 more, and on the women's side, we'll try and get another couple up there as well. Let us know if you have any questions. Allie, anything to add?
No, get out there and get skiing.
Yeah, it's October 29th, so...
Snow's falling somewhere.
Yeah, we should all be skiing within the next month. Hopefully. Everyone, including you.
Yeah. See you next time.
We'll see you out there.